So what's inside this? This is a sheep's rumen, and inside we have 4 sheep's lungs. These are big sheep. Okay, so 4 sheep's lungs, so 2 sets of lungs, 2 hearts, 2 livers, the diaphragms, 2 diaphragms, the flanks of the meat, which is like nice and fatty, and it's all like kind of really like muscly meat as well. We've got some sheep fat in there, some kidneys. I smoked the blueberries for 4 days with beech and oak chips, and then soaked them in resin alcohol, so it's like really resinous and boozy and smoky and sweet and yum nom nom. Yeah, what else is in there? And then the spices. I think that's mostly it, and a little bit of blood as well, emulsified in at the end. So yeah, that's what's inside this beast.
Known as chickpeas, or as my family called them growing up, chichi beans. And for the amount I'm making, I'm going to use 1 generous cup of dried garbanzo beans. And check them out, they have a very cool appearance. They look like little shriveled up, let's say, brains. Add in about half an onion, along with a whole bunch of minced garlic. We're also going to need a whole bunch of freshly chopped Italian parsley. Some people also like to use cilantro here, or a combination. We're simply going to process this, pulsing on and off to start, of course. And what we want to end up with here is something that's pretty finely ground, but not a puree. So we're going to cook these in 350-degree oil for roughly 5 minutes. And of course, that time's going to vary with your size and shape. But for the ones I did here, 5 minutes was just about perfect. And I'm just playing with them here. You don't have to do this. I was just bored, so I gave them a stir. And I know that's a concept that's hard for a lot of people to grasp. Healthy, delicious, and beautiful fast food. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to go finish the rest of that off. And I really hope this demo inspired you to give these a try. And what if it doesn't? I'm not going to lie. I'll feel awful. You know, some of these puns just write themselves.
This is going to be easy to make. I'm going to finely mince 3 cloves of garlic, finely dice half of an onion, and dice half of a red bell pepper. Then I'm going to grab a clean tube of squid, cut it open, cut it in half, and then cut it into some small squares. Mix it in there, and add 2.5 cups of fish broth. 5 minutes after adding the rice, I'm going to start adding the shrimp and the fresh mussels. After leaving our paella to rest between 5 to 7 minutes, it's ready to go. I'm going to take off the cover and unveil it and see what we got in there. And then I'm going to garnish it with some fresh parsley and a couple wedges of lemon. Okay, before I give this a try, I'm going to show you guys that sokora I was telling you about.
This is going to simmer for a couple hours, but I do want to get the edges nice and golden brown. That's going to add some beautiful sweetness and color to the stew. So I'm going to transfer our onions into the stew pot, and once again, do not wash that pan, because we're going to toast the spices in there. So just set the pan aside while you prep your spices on medium, and I'm going to toast those spices in the dry pan for about 3 or 4 minutes. But don't necessarily go by time. You want to keep stirring, moving it around the pan until you can just sort of barely smell that caraway seed toasting. And by the way, promise me you're going to taste this for salt and pepper. All right? And I apologize for the steam. Let me try another angle. And yes, that's even worse. But you get the idea. The meat's tender, the sauce is thickened, and once we're happy with that, we can serve it up on whatever. I like buttered noodles. Some people do rice, potatoes. This is good on pretty much anything. And of course, you got to clean up your drips, which is what I did there. I'm going to finish with a spoon of sour cream. And because I had it and I used the dried version in the stew, I'm going to top with some fresh marjoram. And that is done.
It's hair bleach and Stilton.
We are working with similar bacteria
like when you're doing cheese.
So that's why.
Let's check this out.
Oh, you can see the oozing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can also. This is like, it does not smell as intense as when we walked in.
No.
Beginning till end. And then if you see how smoothly it's cut. And then you take this here.
Thank you. It looks like ham.
Yeah. And then I'll have one also.
Cheers.
Skål.
Skål. Okay. I was going to say that actually doesn't. It's the aftertaste is kicking in now. Yeah.
And now you feel it. It's coming up in your nose. And then it's doing what we wanted to do. We wanted to give us like a kick. It's supposed to be strong.